Hi, this video is to illustrate you how you can use SAP Lumira self-service to report on your statistics of your questionnaires and your exports from Product Stewardship Network PSN. As you can see, I've started up Lumira, which is a self-service tool and basically works in 4 steps. Step number 1 is that you acquire your data, which we are going to do right now. So I click Open New Document and I choose to pick up a Microsoft Excel file, which is the CSV extract from the report exports that I created in PSN. So I click Excel, I click Next, and over here I have a number of surveys that represent the questionnaires that we did. They are categorized in this example via 4 different sections: apples, packaging, paint and plastics. So I open apples. Over here Lumira indicates the type of data that I can import. I choose to create a data set. I pick them up all. So I create. And I end up in my preparation room where I have my first set of data ready, and Lumira already indicates that I have 2 metrics, being KPI score and KPI improvement potential, and over here I have a number of attributes that I can use. Well, I have not one questionnaire, I have a few, so let me quickly pick up the other ones. So I click Combine, Append, add a new data set, and again I choose Excel. And I go to the section that I'm interested in. So I choose how the columns match. So it's the same structure file, so I can easily append it. And here's my second set of data coming in. So I'll finalize this up for the 3 other sets. So I have another Excel number 3, which were the paints. I'll create that. Again, I'm looking at whether the columns match. It's exact the same structure, so I can easily append it. And I choose for the last one. And now I have, over here you can see I have added I have now a complete new data set with 4 surveys. I have 2 metrics, KPI improvement, KPI scores, and I have a number of attributes. Which brings me to the second step in Lumira, that I do a little bit of data enrichment. Over here I have the date, the due date. If I click this option, I can quickly generate a time hierarchy, which I do right now. And you will see that Lumira creates, based on the day, automatically month, quarter and year, which allows me to analyze with a drill down structure. So days roll up to month, month roll up to 4 quarters, and 4 quarters roll up to a year. There's some other stuff that I can do. I can do a little bit of data cleaning. Over here I want to replace this section with apples to make it a bit more clear. Apply. This one I replace with the questionnaire on plastics. Apply. This one becomes paint. Apply. And this one becomes packaging. If my data refreshes, I can, my source data refreshes, I have new extracts, for example, I can just click the refresh button or schedule that, and everything I've done so far, one have to do that once. You can refresh the data, and all the enrichment or the data connections stay as they are. So that's work that you typically have to do once. So over here, if I want to get some insight in the KPI performance, I have out of the box in Lumira a number of types of charts and graphs. There's pies, there's area, there's different types of columns and stacked 3D. I can, if I have geographical information, I can plot my data. I have scatters and bubbles. I have heat and tree maps. I have pivot tables, numeric point data, and I have over here a number of, I would say, others. So let me start with my analysis. I want to analyze KPI scores and KPI improvements. by year, and I want to make a selection for the questionnaire. Click over here, questionnaire, saying I'm interested in questionnaire. And over here I have my first analysis, which I can turn around. And if I'm interested, I have only data for 2014 and 2016. So if I'm interested, we created this time hierarchy. I could drill down to quarter, and this gives me the level per quarter. I could do this even by month if I'm interested. It makes a split in October and November. Yeah, so I can easily create a second analysis. For example, I could have a look at the individual KPI questions, saying, well, I want to have those on my x-axis. Yes, and I want to have the scores for them. And I would like to group that by, let me say, supplier group. And over here I have, I can even have that supplier name in between. And over here I have a grouping that I just created, less preferred and preferred. Yes, and the individual scores which I can use in my analysis. Let us create a new analysis based on a, for example, a 3D pie, where I say, well, I want to have a look at my KPI improvements. And I'm interested to have a look at that by, let's say, by questionnaire. Yeah, so that's by questionnaire. 1 second, where is questionnaire? And I want to also have the score. And over here I already have an analysis where I can, per questionnaire, over here are my 4 questionnaires. I have a pie chart, and I can even split this up per year, which gives me a pretty good indication on how the performance is of my different questionnaires, KPI scores versus KPI improvement potential. Yes, if I want to bring this together and create a report, I could do the following. I can click on compose and, for example, create a board, a kind of a dashboard, give it a title. Give it a title, PSN Statistics. And I can bring together the analysis that I just created. Let me replace this one over there. And I'd like to have my list over here. And I'd like my end user to be able to scroll a little bit through the data, so I'll put an input box over there where the end user can use him or herself. Let it also give him the supplier name and toggle with the data as needed. Quarter, arrange that a little bit. And over here I have my first analysis, which is presented in a way like this, which could look like that, and I can easily select the elements that I'm interested in, and you will see that Lumira automatically generates the applicable filters to the individual graphs. So this is how Lumira works. The last step is that you share your information, which you can easily do in the cloud, to your Lumira server or to SAP BI if you work with that. Many thanks for your attention, and I'm going to do So far, we have done two steps in Lumira. Step number one was acquiring the extracts that we generated from PSN. And step number two was creating a little bit of data enrichment by creating the time hierarchy, and we also updated the supplier names. Step number three is the actual visualization and analysis by clicking the visualization tab. Out of the box, Lumira comes with a number of column and stacked bar charts. We have line and area charts, also with two y-axes, pie and donut charts, there's geo charts, scatters and bubbles, we have tree and heat maps. Of course you have pivot tables, there's numeric point, and over here is an area with a number of other charts that I can use. By simply clicking and dragging the metrics that I'm interested in, I can create my first analysis. Yeah, KPI scores, and for example, I could have a look at this by questionnaire name. Yeah, I can easily turn around this chart. Yes, and if I'm interested in only this selection, I just select it and filter on top of it. I could change, for example, this questionnaire section by the individual KPI questions, which gives me this result. And if I would be interested in the top 10 performing questions, I could do a ranking, clicking and saying, well, I want to rank based on KPI score, rank the top, let us rank on top 8 by question. And over here you see my top 8 questions. If I like this graph, I can easily, clicking the wheel, duplicate it. Yeah, it's automatically saved, and from this point I could, for example, change the chart type, saying, well, I want to have a look in this perspective, and I typically want to focus on this area, filter it, and change my graph, for example, in a donut, which gives me this result. Yeah, I can also create a complete new section. For example, if I click this chart, which is still empty. I can easily create a list overview that I can use as in my reports. For example, I could, per questionnaire, have a look at the individual questions and say, well, I want to see the scores with it. And over here you have a very simple list reports where I can say, well, I want to do some exceptional highlighting, for example, saying, well, top scores and anything that is better than, let us say 150 needs to be marked in the background, maybe green with white fonts. And over here I have a highlight reporting. And I see that I should change this a little bit. Manage my rule, top scores, anything that, let me adjust that, add a to rule. Greater than 150, I should say. That's better. Yes. Well, if I have a number of visualizations that I like, and let us create one more. For example, I could have a look at the KPI questions that, let me create a simple tag cloud, that are best performing KPI scores, that is the word weight, and the improvements are indicated by the color. Yes, if I over here can easily see that the middle question, what is your organization's approach to managing priority chemicals, is the best scoring question with the highest KPI metric. If I want to bring this all together, I could easily create a so-called board. Let me create a new story based on a board, for example, saying, well, give it a title, my board, PSN board, and I can simply drag and drop the visualizations that I created, also allowing, for example, the end user some input controls. I could say, well, I want my end user to be able to select by supplier and by, let us have a look, by quarter. Arrange my data a little bit, and this would be the preview. I can easily use my board right now, and I can say, well, I want to only have a look at everything that is within Q1 or Q4. This is the third step. This is how easy Lumira works. You have a whole bunch of charts which you can use and combine, and analysis is really done very easily on the PSN extracts. My last step is by sharing the data. I can easily share this to the cloud or to Lumira server if you use that, or if you use HANA, you could share it via your HANA platform. And even if you're an SAP Business Intelligence user, you can share it with your SAP BI platform. Many thanks for your attention.